by OG. This is a lot of AoE damage dealers being brought out. Of course, the Phoenix would be a great way to have a ton of magic damage over to a Terrorblade, so it makes sense that OG are respecting that a bit with their early TB pickup. But I feel like the Kiro could even have been an option for themselves, but don't really want to play that into Clockwork, I suppose.
What about a Disruptor? That's a hero that's been making a pretty big splash recently. That would provide them with, you know, the silence if they're able to grab the Terrorblade, can't get the Sunder off, a lot of magic damage as well.
I think he's definitely on the radar for both teams here, just because they're removing other alternatives as well for supports. But it would work well against both Racer to glimpse him back so he can't chase people or force out a BKB from him early. But also the lockdown against Terrorblade and stopping him from sundering would be useful if EG decide to go for it. They're going to ban out BZM's Invoker here. Of course, we are spoiled with many good Invoker players in this. We saw both Toronto Tokyo and Stormstormer going at it in the previous series, with both of them playing Invoker. But BZM is also a superb Invoker player.
Okay, they're going to opt for the Snapfire pickup on the side of Evil Geniuses. Do like that. They've got a couple ways to save in their draft, which I also enjoy. You've got the Snowball from Tusk, you've got the Cookie from Snapfire, and then it adds a little bit more team fight. And we talked about this earlier, how the fact that Snapfire just has incredible range. So she's able to sit pretty far back and get off those Mortimer kisses, and you do have to kind of be aware of that if you're OG, how you're going to be able to interrupt those. You do have a Clockwork, but you don't always necessarily want him to be jumping on the back lines. You might want him to be, you know, your frontliner in some cases too. But, nah, okay, all right. You get the Amar Timber. I feel like that is a very, very strong front lane.
Yeah, he's definitely, this is one of his signature heroes. He has multiple, I suppose, but his Timbersaw, I've seen it in some games where it's like, this is a terrible Timbersaw game, this shouldn't work, and then he just dominates. So OG and their Timbersaw, they are a nice pairing, and I think EG, they have to be very cautious here because they already have two strength heroes in their supports. They're going to be really squishy against the Whirling Death here. But yeah, I agree with what you said, that the Snapfire is nice into the Terrorblade because EG needed to add more magic damage to deal with TB. And I still think they want even more beyond that. Magic damage is going to be higher value now that you see a Timbersaw as well.
I mean, the big thing whenever you see Illusion heroes a lot of times is you see something like Leshrac, right?
Yeah, Lesh is certainly an option that they could go for as well. The more things they add here to set up for the Leshrac stun as well. They have Clockwork now, they have Dark Willow, which can set up a little bit. And Dark Willow, fantastic hero against Razor. I think the Terrorize against Razor is one of the most useful tools you can have to just force him to get back. It's sort of similar to Glimpse that we were mentioning. And here comes Arteezy's comfort hero. Gonna be the Ursa. Certainly a good matchup against the Timbersaw. Continuous damage, but against Terrorblade can be a little bit rougher. But that means they have to pick a last hero that deals quite well with the Terrorblade, I think.
I was suggesting the Lesh for the side of Evil Geniuses, just because we were talking about that magic burst damage and dealing with some of the illusions. Might fit the draft just because of how high tempo it is currently, but...
Yeah, certainly. I think Leshrac can certainly fit for EG here. It might be something that OG respect when they get to their final ban, because they do have the Terrorblade, and like you said, can be rough running into Leshrac. Also more disables and damage that can go through even when Willow hits her Shadow Run can be very useful. Lesh doesn't care at all about Shadow Run.
To see the Batrider getting banned out. That is a very powerful hero, being able to jump in and just have that lockdown, which is very, very important for both Timber and the Terrorblade. Do have one final ban available.
Yeah, I could also see them playing something like Void Spirit for themselves. They could play Lina or Leshrac over on EG. All those are very possible threats. And see if OG has some other hero that they're even more worried about, or if it's going to be one of those that they get rid of here. because they have to shield their Terrorblade a little bit with this ban. Queen of Pain, yeah, certainly same thing there. Ton of burst damage, and a hero that doesn't care about clockwork. So problem with if they got Queen of Pain would be that the clock can't land any easy ganks, as you can just blink away from the ganks.
Alright, Void Spirit gets picked up for the side of OG. It is a BZM classic, so just need to figure out what is the solution, what is the final piece of the puzzle for the side of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, it's to me it feels like a Lina game, but that's just because I don't really see something that fits nicer here. But overall, it does look really clean because they get a nice mix between physical and magical damage as well. You could even go full spellcaster Lina with the Aghanims build that we saw GPK do in the Last Chance qualifier. Well, it's gonna be Lesh. Yeah.
There we go. A little bit more tower push, which puts this draft as a very high octane setup. Has a lot of burst, magic burst damage. Very good against things like the Timber Saw or the Terrorblade. I guess the only thing that's a little worrisome to me is that they're a bit more mobile over on the side of OG, and they also have a bit more superior vision, having the clockwork rockets to do some scouting.
Yeah, they have a lot of vision, and they're, like you said, quite mobile. But on the other hand, there are some good lockdowns, and they're also pretty fast on the side of EG. While they don't have the same level of mobility, Razor is a very speedy hero, so is Leshrac, especially when you get the travels. So even if you have ways to disengage, you can also get run down if you're not careful here. But seeing how both drafts finish up, I would say that EG are in a good spot to take this one, but OG, I'm never really counting out Amar on his Timber Saw. I've seen him take over games, even against an Ursa. I just respect that man on this hero.
Okay, OG tayo guys, OG.
Like that and his Mars as the two heroes, I think, let shine out a lot for a lot of viewers. But I'm curious now. We said that Evil Geniuses has a very fast-moving draft. What is going to be that peak timing for them in this game, do you think?
Lalabas ko yung chunk ko sa
The time that they want to start coming online is probably the moment that Leshrac finishes his first item. We've seen Leshracs go for quite a few different items. Some people go for the Bloodstone first, sometimes Beakby first. We've even seen some Yule Scepters in the past. But I think Lesh is going to be the tempo hero they want to play around. He's going to be central for them actually doing building damage, since Ursa and Razor don't have fantastic building damage between them.
Boys line trash to ka na.
Hiragi and Crit will just walk into each other pretty quickly. You see some nice sportsmanship talk so far, but the have fun's being dropped.
Yeah, good luck, have fun. Both teams are ready and staring at the mid lane, which we sort of see all the teams do. This is what you need to do, just get in position early to try and protect your tier 1 tower from the enemy walking up and scouting if you have a ward. Something that's quite important. You can, of course, always try and see if you get shot by a tower and find out where the ward is.
Are there any ways that you think, so we talked about how this Leshrac is going to really need to pop off. It depends on the item builds too. Are we going to see these rotations come out from EG to try to help secure that lane earlier on?
I think the 6-minute rune is almost every single game. We see both the supports, both teams move towards the 6 and possibly the 8-minute runes as well. It is very, very likely going to happen in this game as well. Until then, they'll be playing out the lanes. We have a bit of a reconnect here by RTC.
Looks like... Unfortunately, yeah, it looks like his PC crashed. I want to know what all these Chinese voice lines are. We haven't had any sort of like post that explains it as far as I know.
True. Yeah, and for the other languages as well, would be nice to find out. There's so many good voice lines, honestly, and hard to pick.
BZM's sponsor, just Seb's grandson.
I'm Dota 7 player.
Seb's grandson. Very nice.
He is a bit baby because he is so young. Nice little D ward. And yeah, runes getting split pretty evenly.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on the runes, and they're heading down the lanes. Look like mid lane is going to be A little bit of a one block by BZM here, getting slightly favorable position. That tiny bit can make a lane much easier to play out, honestly. It seems like such a minor thing, but being able to CS on your high ground as opposed to going low ground feels much nicer.
Wala akong tiwala kay BCM. Pagka yan ang hero.
Top lane, you can see Nightfall's just trying to get a little bit of that drain right off the bat. We'll throw out some shards and put that harass down. Everybody's getting challenged here.
The gauntlets. We haven't seen that in the other games, but of
They
course.
already,
Medyo na-contra
they
si
already
Amar
like
sa buto.
challenge each other in the mid lane.
Puro sa Wario.
Yeah, you can send more.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was apparently a bug at first where you could just send like 100 challenges per second to someone, and you just crash the game by sending them. I believe that's fixed by now, though. Hopefully we're not going to see such foul play at TI here.
No, I don't. I think these guys, they all really want to play this game. They're not looking to crash, if possible. This is, you know, this is for Pride right here. Pride and, you know, TI, which is the biggest tournament that we have.
Yeah, it is, and it's also EG versus OG. It's, you know, who's the best G? Oh, bottom. Taiga getting caught out.
Still got the Shadow Realm up. This is a pretty difficult hero to kill when you have the Shadow Realm and not a lot of ground targeted stuff.
Yeah, they do have a lot of ground target, but they already used it, so he just walks away in the end. But he's gonna walk on and try to control bottom. A little bit too late to do so, though, as Abed already claims it. Tries to deny it with the Shadow Realm, but
Layo pala
instead
ng
harasses.
range nun.
Yeah, that extra little bit of attack range is super nice on the Shadow Realm. And there's another thing too about drafting Amar, his Timber Saw, is like this particular hero, pretty survivable, so you do have the freedom to make these little bit of rotations, try to do some pokes, maybe, you know, grab up some runes.
Yeah, certainly frees up a bit of movement. Trades on both lanes happening. Top lane reflection, but not really too much gonna happen. They just have a superior amount of creeps here on the side of OG.
Quiet game so far. Everybody just pretty content to go hit creeps. Looking at the CS over in the mid lane, currently Abed sitting on top with 16 and 5. BZM not too far behind though, 15 and 2 currently. So
Yeah, very
these mids
very
really
even. But yeah, they're you're not gonna be able to stop Void Spirit. I feel like that hero is so hard to fully deny. His last hit is really good, and he did get a favorable block as well. We saw a courier go down. Taiga got one courier snipe there over on Fly's courier. Bit of gold for his team.
Seryoso si Boss Abed ah.
Top attempting to
Top
get the
lane.
disengage on the pool.
Yeah. Just having those cogs into play, are they going to be able to keep Misha alive? That now Nightfall will get the first blood. And Crit is going to have to back off a little bit. That will use that plasma field. Just put a little bit more pressure over onto Yuragi. He is out of regen other than some stick charges. Has to be a bit careful, although it looks like, oh no, we've just got the Band of Elven skin. But in comes the clockwork.
Yeah, he's gonna
And
get
just
fed
eat
some
him some
tangles. He'll be fine. Bottom lane was RTC taking some damage, but he's also getting fed. The babysitting is full active here for the supports. Their carries are crying.
Nice scatter blast over onto Amar. Taiga needs to be a bit careful. Does have the Shadow Realm available though. Fly, giving off a couple clicks, perhaps baiting a bit. Does have a salve, so it's going to be able to heal back up as RTZ starts giving some chase over here to Taiga. Have to be careful, Amar will hit back.
Yeah, just chasing after and getting that Fury Swipe supplied again. And they're actually
Hop
chasing
forward.
down.
Again, they do have the Shadow Realm, and Fly not enough mana to get the Scatter Blast off.
Yeah, he wants a magic stick badly. Get a magic stick over on the Snapfire, and this Timbersaw will generate the mana for you. And then perhaps they can find these kills.
Nice brambles holding Arteezy in place. Taking out the Mid lane again, both of them very comfortable. We've got the level 5 on both heroes.
Oh, top, they're trading.
Top
Clockwork
lane,
is kind of
yeah,
stuck.
they are. Putting the pressure over onto Nightfall and Misha. Crit chasing after Misha. He wants his kills, has the shard, should be able to collect the kill.
These fights, when you don't have meta, are very difficult because they don't really have that much damage coming out from the Terrorblade.
Some pressure being placed on Amar. They know that they don't have that Dark Willow currently, although in comes Taiga again. Just gonna push a little bit of damage over onto Fly.
Yeah, Arteezy almost had his level 4 there. He gets it now. Keeps the Furious Wipe applied, jumping in just for that one touch so it doesn't reset.
No, they're going for the rune. It is gonna be BZM who picks up the haste.
And he's level 6. He's coming towards bottom.
Arteezy? Oh, he's gonna get Timber chained down.
They want more. They want Fly too.
Oh, they want Fly.
Malalim bata.
Look at BZM. Look at the way he's cutting around the trees.
Yeah, top, we also see a kill.
Sword. Have the Curse Crown over onto Fly. The Cookie Hop forward. BZM taking a decent amount of damage. It's still going to be a kill flip. But in the top lane, Nightfall finding the kill on Yuragi.
Yuragi overcommitting there. I mean, they first get the kill on the Clockwork, but then Terrorblade gets baited, thinks that he can get a kill, but he gets too close to a tower and just goes down in the end. EG with a 2-for-0 trade up there.
Radiant's top tower is under
This top lane is not working out. Clockwork has now died 3 times, and the Terrorblade dying as well. I mean, he can TP back to the lane immediately, so it's not terrible for him yet. But Misha is having a very hard laning stage.
So what's the recovery plan here? Because, you know, they did manage to get the kill on Yuragi. Misha's having a bit difficulty. Do you want to see him kind of rotate out? Is it safe for him to be able to rotate? We only have the level 5 on Terrorblade. Or does Terrorblade just wander off into the jungle at this point?
TP probably wants to stay in the lane a little bit longer. You can pop into a jungle already. It depends on the Leshrak's movement. And right now, looks like Abed wants to come towards top lane, perhaps. If he comes top, then Terrorblade is like, I'm out. But for now, he's trying to stick around and be ready to pick up the farm when it comes to the tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A little bit of skirmishing over here in the mid lane. But again, this Void Spirit, very survivable. Top lane again, Misha getting caught. Has the cogs, but Crit doesn't seem to care. Crit would like to get a little bit closer to you, in fact, Misha. Lex plus the Plasma. Nightfall is just having a great game up here. 3 kills, 2 assists. That is very scary, I think, for the side of OG.
We saw top rune being controlled by the Aether Remnant, but Leshrak denies it by right-clicking as well, so no rune for either of the mid laners here. No extra tempo. Terrorblade is going to be completely fine. Yeah, they're invading and trying to keep him from farming too fast, but that's also time that they could take to deal some damage to the top tower. So TB, if he doesn't die there, he's completely happy with them doing this. This is a waste of time to them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
BZM noticing that Crit's over here. Not gonna be able to quite land that remnant, but does get the curve, so won't have that TP available. Top lane. Nightfall just feeling very confident that he can just take these creeps right in front of the side of OG.
I will never get used to neutral creeps randomly just pulling you in one direction, but it can sometimes give you info that there is an enemy here nearby without you having seen them yet. If you get pulled by neutral creeps, that's a bad sign. Get out of there.
That's true. Still not seeing any towers taken just yet. They've done a great job of protecting their tower over here in the mid lane. Usually when you have something like a Leshrac, you're pretty concerned that you're going to end up losing a lot of these towers pretty quickly. But right now, Lesh Abed just wants to farm up. Is working on that Yules, like we talked about, giving him some nice ways to set up, and also a little bit of an insurance policy.
Yeah, there are so many different builds that you can go for, but I think the Yule Scepter makes a lot of sense in this game. Also as a setup against the Timbersaw, possibly just Yules him into a stun and keep him still long enough that you can kill him with Ursa.
I think having that interrupt is very, very nice, but BZM will be able to grab himself the double damage after a nice setup with the Remnant into the Brambles.
Yeah, both teams are pretty content with just farming right now. One difference is that RTC is still trying to farm the lane bottom, whereas Terrorblade has completely started jungling.
Awa si
This allows
Arturo.
Misha to recover his levels.
Nilalandi ni Ama.
Not super comfortable against the Timbersaw though. The Ursa probably doesn't want to stay here forever. And it's gonna be the Battle Fury build on the Ursa, so RTC going for the greedier path, not first item defusal. The reason for this is that the defusal is quite bad against reflection as well. Feels bad to burn your own mana.
Going for a bit of an invasion. CMR is just kind of cutting the wave off to the side, and the pressure is being placed over on the mid lane. See a couple of the sports did rotate over. A little bit of a smoke play coming out from EG.
Is under
It's
attack.
like they're looking to invade the jungle, perhaps find themselves a Terrorblade, Yuragi. Wandering on in, and they do go for a scan. Smoke play coming out from the side of OG, though. They're responding. They're looking to see if they can take a skirmish and potentially get the jump on the side of Evil Geniuses.
The
Top
diving
lane,
Misha.
a bit of a dive again over onto Misha. Abed is here, though. Cooking up forward. The double damage gets popped from BZM. Nightfall says, like, yeah, I'd love to go for a fight. They're looking for the Terrorize. Won't manage to land it, but the Snapfire kisses. Taiga trying to just break some ankles, do these dances, duke around, but he is going to get burned down by Abed.
Yeah, credit to Taiga. Nice moves though until the end there, but of course he can't really juke when Leshrac just runs up next to him. That's gonna be his demise in the end. But they forced out both the jumps there from the Void Spirit early, and then he can't really fight anymore. It doesn't matter if he has DD. Now it does
Abed,
though.
though, does find a... They do end up finding Abed. Snowball going forward, just going to be able to dissimulate away. No
Dire's
problem.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and they want the rune. The
Block
shards.
here, can they get... Oh, no. It's still going to be BZM who grabs the invis thanks to that remnant.
Yeah, the ice shards were a little bit off the mark there, not blocking the ramp fully. So he gets to heal up on his Void Spirit as well. Oh, is he going E-Blade first item on BCM? He has it queued up now. I think the Kaya is very strong. I like the idea of going for E-Blade in this game as well. It would enable so much of the magic damage from Willow and the Clockwork as well as his own damage.
Flesh does teleport bottom, but they find Fly. Gonna be able to just burst down immediately. It's like, Abed, he wants to get over here. Does manage to find themselves Taiga. Doesn't look like he's going to be the one who survives, but I'm sure they're happy that BZM did make it out.
Yeah, crit redeeming his previous failed shard block to now get 2 heroes caught. Of course, Void Spirit jumps away, but that was a nice shard, right place, right time. Looks like OG are eyeing up the bottom lane a little bit more though. Arteezy's staying here for now, but this area is about to get dangerous.
Yeah, it seems that Arteezy recognizes it because he is starting to retreat. He's gonna meet up with his courier, getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury. But realizing there's a lot of heroes that are not on the map, and this tower is sitting very low, so it's probably time to make a rotation.
Bottom tower is under
This
attack.
is a very rich game, very abundant farm for all the cores. Every single one is getting quite a bit of farm. I guess the least farm being Void Spirit, but still sitting at 5.2k is not too unhappy about things.
On the bed. Trying to dodge away from the brambles. So the loser in top, Misha's just gonna snap it up.
Yeah, looks like after taking bottom tower, they're not intending on staying in the area. They're just leaving it for Terrorblade. He's farming, and then he's gonna go back to the Ancients again.
This feels like some of the really older NA games where it's just a non-stop farm fest.
Yeah, EG like to try and get a lot of item progression overall on Nightfall, and in this game, he's actually the most farmed hero as the offlaner here. Chasing on the Ursa, but with that level 4 Timber chain, it's pretty hard for Ursa to ever catch up to Timber. He gets so far away.
I mean, they have completed the Yules on Abed, so that does give them the option to try to make moves, but it is a Timber Saw. It's just very difficult unless you bring the numbers to really deal with Amar at this time.
Yeah, they have wards in the area. OG.
Hook shot in. Go for the split. Honing into the brambles. There's the Yules coming to play here for the Leshrac. Gonna get terrorized out. Those Mortimer kisses. Oh, but they just cut right through Abed. With Amar being in this vicinity, Curse Crown will end up going off. Other Yules coming into play. Oh, Arteezy, he has no hope of escape. Not with all the heroes of OG jumping on him like that.
I love the decision by Amar to go for a first item Yule Scepter in this game as well. When you're playing against Ursa, it is such a fantastic item to have because it has full duration even if you enrage. So it's a great way to lock him down. And I think Arteezy, he doesn't want to find himself near these fights at all right now.
Oh, alright. Just a casual pickoff here by Kurt, finding Taiga. The TPs are coming out. Abed trying to protect his tower. Sending over the... Oh gosh, okay. Amar just kills Sly.
Yeah, I'm surprised he was trying to stay down there. Such a dangerous area for him to play, but stays on the lane, and Amar's gonna happily take that kill now on a dominating streak. Quite a few kills bleeding over here. I was saying how Razor was the most farmed hero on the map, but not after Timbersaw getting some of these kills.
Do have a fresh BKB on Nightfall though, so definitely a power spike over to the side of Evil Geniuses.
He can sort of act as a shield for Leshrac right now. Since Leshrac went for the Yule Scepter first item, he's not really that tanky, but if Razor sits in front of him, then Lesh can happily push towers. Again, moving down towards bottom, Arteezy, he just wants to farm, but he has this Battle Fury and finds himself in bottom area. It's a dangerous place.
Yes, it is, because there's no one nearby to be able to teleport and help him out. He's going to try to take down Misha before he dies. We'll be able to get that kill, but not really the trade that you want to see if you are an Evil Geniuses fan.
And affirmative, my bad, is Amar saying, yeah, I probably should have Yule Sceptered and saved your life there. Probably getting a little bit of flack there from his Clockwork, who's like, save me! But Arteezy gets a kill before dying. He's perfectly happy then. I mean, dying is not the best, but at least you got a consolation, and 3 heroes rotated to bring you down, so the best case scenario, I suppose, for him there.
That is true.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Interesting to note that they do have a Leshrac, but this mid tower still standing for the side of OG. They've been very protective of this tower.
Yeah, I think they want to try and fix that right now, but it's not that easy to commit past the river against OG. They have very good chase between the Clock and the Void Spirit, but right now, after the gank bottom, they're a bit low on resources. Void is not here yet. Tower could go down. Abed is so scared though, he doesn't want to go for it.
And there's the E-Blade, and they immediately pop BKB on Malay.
From Montalban.
They really want a hard commit. Oh, nice sidestep there with the cookie from Fly. Able to land the hook shot, but now with this
Shielding for
BKB.
Roche. Just creating a diversion, and then they go for Roche.
And they're successful. A very nice play coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses. The old bait and switch.
Yeah, it's one of the advantages of having Ursa, and you want to try and get that first Roshan down as fast as possible, so you keep killing Roche over and over throughout the duration of the game. That first Roche kill is honestly the most important in a way to get it as soon as possible for Ursa.
So now that we have the Aegis online for Arteezy, is this going to be one of those just more farming Aegis, or I'd like to see them maybe be aggressive, but again, they do have the Battle Fury.
I think Arteezy gonna farm. That's what I think. I think you keep hitting creeps here, get your BKB, because right now he's still a puzzle that can be solved for OG. They have the Yule Scepter already. They also have E-Blade on the Void Spirit, so he can protect people. Granted, you can't really E-Blade the Ursa that easily due to Enrage, but he can just E-Blade the targets. So for now, I think you need more items.
Misha getting a little bit of a deward over here on the side, trying to keep their jungle nice and tidy and private, so that Evil Geniuses doesn't know exactly what's going on. But they are playing very forward on the side of EG, trying to finish off this tower for sure. Just a couple clicks here. Nightfall will finish it off. Finally opening this up. E-Blade getting placed over onto Arteezy.
Nakuha pala ni Arturo yung Aegis, ah.
Such an annoying thing for him. Just the E-Blade already forces that he has to commit his Enrage. If he doesn't do it, they are gonna land a disable on him, and he will lose his Aegis there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Top haste rune. Crit wants it. Stuns up BZM.
Huli. Uy, ano yun?
Gives him the old punch on top of it. Again, that E-Blade coming in handy, though. Crit kind of trying to bring him over towards Arteezy.
Yeah, now is a good time for OG to fight. They forced out the BKB on the Razor there and forced him back. They have the meta going as well, so they can look for invading a little bit or just taking this mid creep wave safely and then back up to farm even more. Terrorblade looking like he wants to go for IF Skadi rushed in this game, not even finishing Manta style first. That is probably just respecting that every single hero on EG suffers if they get IF Skadi'd. Razor, he can't keep running people down. It's very easy to just hit him for TB and slow him down. The Ursa, same thing there. He struggles against the same issue. And same can sort of be said against Leshrac as well, so it's a great item here.
Taiga with a nice terrorize over on Stupid Snowball, of course, from Crit. Provides a bit more time. Throws out the shards, drops the Wraith back. This is looking like they're going to end up losing Taiga.
Yeah, I thought for a second the BCM might jump in on that since the Terrorize pushed 2 heroes back, but didn't really want to get in and involved in that, so they'll just take a support loss. I mean, 1 support dying is usually completely non-impactful, so not risking it.
Looks like the next item for Nightfall is going to be the Heaven's Halberd. Just waiting on that Talisman of Evasion. Should be very nice against the opponents of OG.
Yeah, both teams staying pretty close to each other here in net worth, by the way. They're only 1,000 gold ahead on the side of OG, so EG are keeping pace pretty well. Of course, they have the Aegis, so they can farm a little bit safer as well. RTC is definitely playing in areas they probably wouldn't if he had the Aegis right now, or didn't have the Aegis.
Yeah, they don't really have one of those here. Like, you know, in a lot of the games, you'll have one particular hero that can take the unsafe farm. As Amar just jumps immediately on top of Arteezy. They'll fly nearby.
He does have Aegis and BKB. They could go on him, but it's not the best target to
Smoke.
initiate on.
Pop, not going to be able to quite get over there, but they do hold him into place. Oh my word, the damage coming out from Amar. They pop the Aegis. Wait patiently here, trying to get Arteezy out, but they'll just chase after Amar, but he's got the Timber Chain. BKB coming into play here from Arteezy. Needs to be careful, though, and that's Scotty doing work. It's over on the side, rearing up with the Terrorize. A nice play, pushing guys off of VG, but there's those Mortimer Kisses like we talked about. Trying to just get all the damage as possible as they're chasing after Misha. Yuragi's sitting very low right now. Does have the Sunder, but not going to be able to get it off. As now they'll toss Nightfall over, chasing after Taiga. Got the shards. Nice force away, though. We'll be able to keep him alive a little bit longer. BZM and Amar trying to get out the snowball, rolling right towards him like an Indiana Jones film. But they still have not managed to catch him.
Yeah, Nightfall trying to get the wraparound, but doesn't really have a way to catch for his team. So he's just going to start farming over on the high ground anyway. And beautiful fight by EG there. That is on the back of the Aegis. Bit brave by OG to try and fight into EG right when Aegis was closing in on timing out. They brought it down quickly, but the fight that followed was difficult to say the least against this BKB timing over on Razor, BKB on the Ursa as well. So much was used to just burst the 2 of them initially there.
Yeah, Amar just timber chaining on through and just cutting them both down immediately. Oof.
Yeah. Also, they did a good job initially at kiting out the Ursa. They have double Force Staff on the side of OG. Both the Dark Willow and the Clockwork have a Force Staff. This is something we see more and more against heroes like Ursa. It just solves them to a great degree. But Razor and Leshrac were allowed to do so much damage in that fight.
Pain Rune, the Abed getting ready to set up with the Split Earth, followed up with the Snowball. Misha jumping in, but not going to be able to save BZM. Despite his best efforts. They try to launch Abed up to the high ground. Don't quite manage to make it. As now Crit is in for some trouble here as Amar throwing out the shock. They still have the vision. The fall of the bed lamp from Taiga. It's going to be a kill on Crit, but the follow-up is here. As now Taiga will fall to Nightfall. And the cookie hop again. Abed, man, Abed's just super aggressive. He's got Arteezy coming in too. Was looking to go try to land the Split Earth, but they do have the Force Staffs like we talked about. The Yule's play over onto Arteezy. They're hiding him quite well.
Yeah, this Snapfire Shard, by the way, it feels like it counteracts the Force Staffs to a degree, because you have longer range on the cookie now. You fly so far. So he's using it to help people catch. Oh, gee, they want to fight this.
Yeah, Amar sees Fly. that little bit of the cookie hop away. Does probably need some assistance though, as again the force and Amar cleaning up everybody, just cutting through them. Follow up though, he's gone perhaps a bit too far because he will end up going to Abed. Misha though with a nice touch. Oh, they'll take down Arteezy. As now Yuragi joining the fight, the slow over onto Nightfall, plus that battery assault. Nightfall says, oh my god, yeah, I can't stay here and fight toe-to-toe. I'm gonna have to BKB teleport out.
Always with a high five during the TP out as well. Nightfall just taunting them a little bit, as they do not have a way to solve him BKB TPing yet. But he TP'd out, that means bottom can now be pushed. The meta is still up for a good duration here on Yuragi.
Arturo Gatti pala.
And that was a BKB charge.
Boksingero.
Oh, wow, even Yuragi is getting he picks up the force staff. Eventually towards that full Hurricane Pie. Crit, though, does get spotted by the supports over here on the side and BCM, so...
That's actually crazy. They have 4 force staffs at 26 minutes. Oh no. Arteezy is gonna have so many times that he's gonna try and catch someone and they will just get pushed away from him. This is looking to be a frustrating game. His basher cannot come soon enough. The issue is, though, even if you bash on your connection, someone else is probably going to force the target away.
Yeah, the saddest of bears over here. It does have a blink to try to close the gap, but like you said, you know, you've got all these force staffs, and if one person isn't able to do it, there's going to be another person on the team who'll be able to supply it.
Yeah, but fortunately for him, his teammates are also doing quite well in terms of farm departments. The Racer is scaling up quite a bit. Nightfall has the BKB, Halberd, Plate Mail, going for a Shiva's next, and then he wants to go back for the Refresher. God, I remember the every single game Refresher, BKB Racer. But yeah, we're gonna have it in this game as well, it seems. He gets his way.
EG is smoked up, and they're looking to make an invasion into the jungle. A little bit of a rocket flare tossed out, trying to get any information. It is Taiga who's standing over by the ramp, so they go up. It's most likely him who they're going to be finding first.
Yeah, they saw him. They just couldn't really catch him from all the way over there. He is backing out in good time, and they are drawing, they're scanning. OG are on point with where EG are playing right now because of bottom. They even highlighted bottom, like Taiga was drawing on the map there, indicating that if this is not farmed, something is afoot. Like if the creeps are hitting all the way to a tier 3 tower, that means EG are making a move.
Well, there's about 15 seconds left before this Roche respawns, and that's definitely the next objective on the side of Evil Geniuses with the way that they've positioned themselves. But it also seems like OG, they're very aware of this, considering that they are staying tight on the side of the river, not venturing off too far from the Roshan.
Yeah, seems like they are they're certainly going to stick around there. Just waiting, and we'll see when RTC decides to make the move over.
They smoke up on the side of OG. They immediately want to punish them. As Fly just gets... Okay, there was a Fly there. He's not going to be available for this fight now as Evil Genius is forced to try to run away. Nightfall trying to slow them down a little bit. Crit getting drawn back over to the side. Too much damage coming out from Amar. The Chakram cleans them up, followed up now. Abed, he's going to be forced to run, but they have the Yules. This is not an easy way to get out, as they'll just... Yeah, they burst him out.
Yeah, this is some very good initiation. They just fly in immediately with a clockwork, get the first burst, and from there on the fight is quite easy for them. If there's not going to be any Snapfire, she can't be around to save people with a Fire Snap Shard. So yeah, they put themselves in a good spot. RCC tried to join the fight, but it was too late. They already were in a bad spot.
Nice hook shot over onto Nightfall. We'll throw the power cogs out. Chakram getting tossed too. Arteezy though trying to get into position, but it's so hard to pin down Amar at this point. We'll drain a little bit of the damage. Nightfall chasing after Amar. They have to land these Mortimer kisses. He'll turn back around. Has the Yules pushing the limits on this particular hero. He's still alive as now Arteezy coming around the side pops the BKB, looking to see if he can get his hands on Amar. Amar trying to juke, trying to break the end skills, but they'll finally be able to take him down. As now Fly on the back, and Taiga's here, so is Misha. They'll end up taking down Taiga. BZM, though, will be able to get the cleanup kill.
That was really nice by RTC to just ignore the, what's right in front of you and instead go for the deeper, better target there. Finding Timbersaw, getting that solo kill, absolutely huge for him. So he gets quite a bit of gold for that too, over for himself and his team, 490 and 446. So plenty of gold going over. But yeah, you can see already this game is turning out to be very difficult. Yules?
Yules and okay, all right, we got
Oh
another
my god, the fake.
Yules waiting patiently, but their patience is rewarded.
Beautiful. He knew there was going to be the counter Yules immediately after his first Yule, so Abed fakes out the stun, lands the stun on the enemy Yules instead. Good mind games there by Abed. Good presence of mind.
Alam niyang pinapagalitan sana tao na. Hindi na po, mama.
Alright, 30 minutes into the game. We've got a 3k lead over to the side of OG. They still have the Aegis
Sorry, mama.
over on Yoragi.
Yeah, they have the Aegis, but it doesn't feel like he is the one they want to play around that heavily yet. They need to try and get everyone involved. They need the Void Spirits. They can't make a move without him right now. So just gonna wait for the respawn probably before we see OG make a move.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I love the decision we're seeing by Abed, by the way. He's finishing up Aghanim Scepter over on his Leshrac. So, oh, he's actually now changed his mind. This is also a very strong item here. So the Hex is going to help with the Void Spirit and the Timber Saw quite a lot. And possibly deny some Thunders to go out as well, which could be massive.
Yeah, I feel like control is a very important part of playing against OG's lineup with what they have. They're very, very mobile. You've got, you know, the hook shot on the clock. You've got this Timber who can just easily Timber chain away. The Void Spirit with the step. Honestly, any of these heroes, right? Like, the more lockdown you have, the easier these fights go. So definitely like to see that pickup. We've got the Basher online for Arteezy.
Yeah, Basher, and he's going for a Nullifier as well. When you're against 2 Yule Scepters and 4 Force Staffs, it's a pretty damn good Nullifier game.
Crit's gonna present himself. Scatterblast toss back though, and it looks like we'll end up losing Tusk. Fly using that cookie to vacate the area as fast as possible. We saw how fast that he could get shredded. In fact, Amar posturing pretty aggressively.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
he's
is under attack.
he's certainly getting in their head a little bit, just playing aggressively and showing that he can go top. They're trying to catch Nightfall. He does have the BKB TP out though, so a very tricky kill for them. I think he's just gonna click his spells here, get out. He's safe.
Yeah, they didn't have the hook shot for another 10 seconds, and Misha a little bit low on that mana too, but...
Yung ano ba yan? Yung notify.
Yeah, he recognized that he could play as aggressively as he wanted after the catch on mid lane. But even though EG are behind for now, it feels like they're still building up to be really, really hitting a strong timing soon when the refresher comes up. Oh, Fly.
There's the hook shot from downtown, and that's a dead Fly.
Yeah, Timber looking for more. Amar not gonna find anyone just yet.
Sana all mag-send ng star.
Now with the Halberd, double E-Blade, double Yules, ton of Force Staffs. It's like they have 10 items, I think, to counter out RTZ in this game. It feels like they're really hard countering. Then again, should be said that the Force Staffs are amazing against Razor as well, to just break the static link and get out of the damage of the Eye of the Storm, of course. But EG, I wanted to say, they're building up towards a really strong timing. Once this refresher comes online here for Razor, he's going to be massive.
Top tower has fallen. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Feels like they want to try to fight this, as they'll find an opening over onto BZM. Gonna see if they can burst him down, but they do, of course, have that Yules coming into play. BKB popped over onto Arteezy, he'll take down BZM, but Yoragi again kiting just so nicely. They do jump off the back line. Look at Misha. Nightfall with the BKB is just running at them, trying to close the gap. We'll be able to try to drain a little bit here from Amar. Yoragi, Heaven's Halberded. He's gonna go back into the fight. They clean up Taiga on the other side. And Crit, they want to finish off Yoragi. They have the BKB over on Nightfall. He's chasing after him again. These Heaven's Halberds coming in clutch because they just need a little bit more damage.
They just
Yoragi
timed
is
out.
just ticking down and time's out. They'll end up getting the kill. And now Amar running for his life. The snowball coming after him. Not able to quite match finish up. He decides he wants to stand and fight, but he is going to get bashed up. So up at collecting the kill. Very excellent timing coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses to recognize that now is the time to strike, now's the time to put the pressure on Yoragi.
Yeah, they knew the Aegis was gonna time out soon, so it's a good time to initiate the engagement, but that engagement worked out so well for them due to some mishaps on the side of OG as well. Misha just tried to go in as his clockwork and try and help. He just melted next to Leshrac and the Racer. died without anything. And after 2 heroes getting bursted that quickly, I'm surprised they decided to take the fight. Here you see, of course, when they go and initiate, it's a good double Yules here, and Leshrac calmly lands the stun. But look at Clock. He disappears immediately. And after this, they could have tried to disengage. In the game, though, we see Leshrac being gone on a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine. Looks like they were setting up to make an attempted burst on him there.
Yeah, they didn't feel super confident, I think, because they weren't quite sure where the rest of
Lalaban,
the team was
Janot,
gonna
maganda.
have vision.
Dire's
So,
middle tower is under
Yeah, they were nearby.
Match na match.
A big thing for OG right now, though, is that they are playing without BKB on Terrorblade.
oh my god. Well, bye, Taiga.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah,
has
Plants a
fallen.
ward, jumps in. Fast bursts. Don't think they're going to threaten high ground, but they're drawing on the map. They want to take over this entire bottom area right now. There are tier 1 and tier 2 towers to be collected here. And like I was saying, right now I think OG, they need to finish up this BKB. You played until now without BKB, going for the Daedalus even on Terrorblade. But in the last fight, he really could have used one. He could have BKB TP'd out, or he could commit it and perhaps taken a favorable fight for him.
Full nullifier completed for Arteezy. This bear is definitely headed towards some very powerful spikes.
Yeah, he's going for the Abyssal next as well. He wants to have even more lockdown. Lockdown is the name of the game here against Void Spirit, against Timbersaw, and even against the Terrorblade as well, again to deny that Sunder going off.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I think EG are starting to get a little bit more confident now, as they were pretty much on the back foot the entirety of this game. Apart from like early laning stage, they had good farm,
Dire's
but
bottom tower
OG have been controlling the game until now, and it feels like EG now open up the map a bit more.
We talked about how, you know, some of the players over on Entity are former creep waivers, and Amar is still having that that little bit of what do you want to call it? Respect for the fact he came from creep wave.
Yeah, he has it in his
Reminiscence.
sponsor tag, yeah. He, never forget your roots, I guess. Important for
important.
these players.
I remember I didn't know much about him when he first came onto the scene, and I was just told, watch out for his Mars. He's so aggressive, but it gets to the point that he's so aggressive that every time it's off cooldown, the second that enemies see him running into their lane, they all just leave. They're like, yep, we know what's coming. Just run away from Amar right now.
Dire's top tower is under
He
attack.
certainly, I think he also single-handedly, look at this, defining
Misha has a
Lash.
jetpack. Misha has himself an Abed, but again, those BKBs, Abed's just going to teleport out, doesn't want to stand here and fight, as the rest of Evil Geniuses will attempt to just flee. Oh, but they do find the pick off over here on Fly to drag back the E-Blade, and he just pops.
He has some insane range for catching on BCM. He has that Octarine on his Void Spirit as well, so added cast range, as well as the cooldown from the Quickening Charm, so he can cast his spells on a really low CD here. And he went for Astral Step's CDR talent, so he has some high mobility.
Roche respawning right at the opportune moment here for the side of OG. Throwing out some shards, trying to get some vision, trying to see if they maybe can get a snipe, but not going to be able to quite do
They
it.
still haven't
as,
taken ages. They can't
are they
reach
going to
it.
figure out what's happening?
He was held out by the shards there. He couldn't actually get close enough. But of course, EG, they weren't getting there. It's always an awkward moment when the Aegis is right in front of you and you can't take it, though. He was trying to get close enough.
You saw how nervous Jiragi was. He popped that BKB, just like, oh no, like the shards are in. Are they going to try to jump in? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, better safe than sorry on that. I mean, most likely you're just going to be farming for a little bit right after you take Roche anyway, and then make a move when Aegis has been around for a bit. EG though, they want to try and fight. I think it's because they must have seen that BKB usage there and feel like they have an opening. Oh, there's a Havoc Hammer chilling in the Ancients, by the way, and the Dire Ancients. There's actually a little Havoc Hammer that was missed. It's right under the trees. Very sneaky.
Sheepstick is completed now for Abed, so even more locked, and we saw how useful that Heaven's Halberd was earlier. Now with the Sheepstick, going to make it a bit easier for the side of Evil Geniuses to get these locked down, find these openings, and not allow them to just timber chain, hook, or whatever out.
Yeah, for sure. Mid, you will set up. Just trying to poke the bear a little bit. It's a dangerous thing to do, though.
The rest of the team is nearby. If they decide to get too aggressive, Shiva's gonna get popped.
This Razor is so tanky now as well. With Halberd, with Trickster Cloak, and with Shivas, as well as his double BKB, of course. He's going to be so difficult to bring down. And there's no MKB on the side of Terrorblade as well, so even his right clicks will struggle to kill Razor.
See, the vision game is going over towards the side of Evil Geniuses. They did opt to pick up a Geometry Site. They've got that on crit. And so EG being able to place a lot of just nice wards and be able to de-ward anything that OG puts down as they try to climb across this map together slowly.
Just a positional game right now, as OG realize the bottom part of the map can be difficult for them to access anymore, but that means they're just going to try and go to the undefended territory, go towards top, get farm wherever they can. And Tier 2 Tower top is taking a lot of damage right now.
Dire
Okay,
are
we've got the
scanning.
MKB completed for Terrorblade. They've handed over the Refresher Shard to him
Top
too.
tower is under attack.
Looks like they're looking to find themselves a skirmish.
Dire's bottom
Yeah,
tower
his job is
under
to kill
attack.
Razor next fight. He wants to kill Razor, or if any other core, of course, gets close enough, then he'll take it, but he's the only one who can solve the Razor problem. And the MKB allows him to do so quite well.
Evil Geniuses though already shifting their way towards the other side of the map. Nice read. Trying to also, you know, push out this top area as it was pushed in previously.
I just realized that I could swear that he died one time before, but it was just close, I guess. Nightfall still has not died a single time this game. 42 minutes in.
It's extremely impressive. Alright. OG, they've drawn the line. They know where they want to go.
Yeah, they also have the Hex on the Timbersaw ready. The Hex and E-Blade on him. He's got some good lockdown. But again, EG are just dodging. They're backing out. Both teams are very careful about how they take the next team fight here. Of course, EG, they want to wait out the Aegis. Don't give a free fight into the Aegis outside the map.
I mean, it's so difficult because of the fact that they do have the gem on the side of Evil Geniuses. They're able to tear down any vision. So yes, they're going for these smoke plays. They're sending out Misha with the jetpack, trying to get out as much information. But it's just hard for them to get these pickoffs in these finds.
Oh, Clock is going to
They will
initiate.
be able to find themselves Nightfall. Use the Terrorize. Hold the plays here. They've got the Chakra that should be able to disperse them down instantly. So that is his death here. Now can they grab crit in time? Yes, they can. They've got vision over here on the side. Jumping from plus the E-Blade, plus all the damage. He is obliterated as the rest of Evil Geniuses clamber back into their base for safety.
Well, Yuragi had a job. He had to kill the Razor, and he did so very fast.
Did indeed the jump in over onto BZM, though. He's going to get blown up. Popping the BKB, the Mortimer kisses, raining Hellfire down.
Radiant's middle
Beautiful by Arteezy there. Fast Abyssal along with the Nullfire as well. Bringing down the Void Spirit really fast. He didn't even get a chance to use his cheese or anything. Just chains down and dead immediately. Bit unfortunate for them that they used the Tusk buyback. I think they could have probably been fine seeing that Void Spirit died that fast. But who could expect him to just burst that quickly right there?
Aegis does end up getting reclaimed,
Basag na
so
sana.
OG will back off again. You see the Refresher Shard placed into Terrorblade's actual inventory, and he's got his eyes on a Reaver as the next step in his plans.
Yeah, he has Satanic coming out. He's got the components. He just needs to buy Satanic or buy the Reaver and then complete it. So he'll have a bit of sustain as well, lifesteal to get back HP, and a nice way to dispel himself as well here.
Match lang, match.
And
I'm curious
this
to see
game
who's going to
has,
sprint next.
yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say too. This game has gone to the point where initiation dictates everything. Whoever gets the better vision and jump on the other team will win that fight, because both of them are so strong. The difference is nothing right now. We have a complete difference of 500 gold. So EG are 500 gold ahead of OG, but that is it. Both teams are well within their strengths to kill the other cores if they see them.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
We managed to kill off the courier, and whilst it's going on Nightfall, he's got himself a full refresher orb, so go for a... He picked up something else, I thought. No? I thought the blink. Yeah, the blink. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry, guys. It's like almost 8 a.m. over here. Brain's starting to get a little fuzzy. There it is, though. They're getting into position.
Are scanning.
Throwing out the remnants, seeing if they can grab anyone. Throwing out the shards. Immediately crit, though. Gets turned into a pig. He's going to try to save him with the cookie. Misha's pretty deep here, but he's still going to be able to survive. BKB is getting popped on multiple sides, but Yuragi on the backside. Arteezy just jumps on him, immediately murders him, and now the chase is going on after Amar. He's not going to be able to timber chain out of this. Not when he's turned into a little piggy. Taiga will get just hit with the split earth. A very surgical hit coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses. They're still hunting for BZM. Don't think they're going to be able to quite grab him in time. I don't think they have that vision, or else Abed would have hit him with the Yule, so... Very
Arteezy
nicely done.
not only saves Razor by jumping in on the Terrorblade there, he actually just gets the kill immediately over on the Terrorblade. I did not expect him to die that fast, and I think the same is true for OG. Nobody was dedicated to trying to protect the Terrorblade from dying, but he gets blown up before he can use his Sunder or his Hurricane Pike here. Look at this jump here as the Ursa goes in to save his Razor here at the start of the fight and just gets the kill on him on his own.
Yeah, his positioning there, very patient, waiting for that opportune moment.
Yeah, they're pushing high ground now. There are buybacks available. Nice chase down there as well, as you saw in the replay. Void Spirit trying to buy some time here. Going in and just doing damage. Has to be very careful. He has Lincolns to protect him.
But Arteezy's feeling very powerful right now with the lead pretty far back.
Dire's middle barracks.
One lane is probably all they're gonna get. They're gonna back out on the side of EG. Getting themselves nice advantage there, but not forcing out any form of buyback reaction from OG. So they're still well within the game on OG, but that cannot be allowed to happen for them. They need to protect Terrorblade. He cannot be burst without anyone force staffing or saving him there. Even against Nullifier, force staff will force you a tiny bit. And a nice trick, by the way, is that Nullifier does not stop Hurricane Pike. So Yuragi can still try and Hurricane Pike away by pushing someone else. Then Nullifier does not stop you.
I wonder what the reasoning is behind that.
Uh,
Why that particularly works.
yeah, that's just how it is.
That is just how it is, as they get a draw over onto Crit. But the follow-up here, Arteezy's here. Is chasing after Obser on the back line. Nightfall chasing over here onto Misha, over onto Yuragi. Yuragi going to survive, but Misha looks like he's got to fall. And now the kiting is real over onto this Ursa. Arteezy has to be careful. Doing a decent amount of damage to him, as they are kiting, and there's going to be the snowball save coming out. They'll end up losing Taiga. Roll forward over onto one of the illusions. Still protecting Abed, keeping him alive, but BZM seeing an opening. Potentially trying to pop over to Abed. Good cookie save, though, was Amar over on the back lines. They do get the kill on Amar. Jumping onto the back, but Arteezy, he's taking too much damage. It's a beautiful terrorize that forces him away, allows the kiting. They'll buy back on Arteezy, though. Lots of buybacks during that fight.
Yeah, perhaps a bit premature buyback, but not really, because Roche is gonna respawn here, and he knows if he buys back, they can keep contesting this Roche. If he doesn't, it's gonna fall to the way of OG, so he's not gonna be there in time to get a fight on his back buyback, but he does want to stay in the area. That was actually, yeah, the Terrorblade's now ready again with new meta. Great to fight once more. Yeah, here we see the replay. At the start of that fight, there was a nice catch by Clockwork, getting two heroes into the cog, both Razor and Lesh being held in place, allowing the Terrorblade to get a lot of time just right-clicking. So even though he gets caught by doing so himself on Clockwork, that was an important move.
Nightfall?
Oh, the teams are going!
Nightfall is very far forward here, but they just force away. They're going to put out some of that kiting damage like we talked about as he goes for the refresher. Another BKB, but the Scotty damage, oh my gosh, he just pop. And then they're gonna buy back Abed, looking for the opening crit, finding this opening over onto Misha. See Arteezy trying to just get into these fights. Doesn't end up getting kited. Amar, though, is just left behind, so he is going to die. That was a buyback early. This is a very big fight with big potential here, as now BZM trying to run away, trying to get out fast enough. Looks like he might be able to escape with the force staff coming out now from Orbit. Was looking for the opening. Not going to be able to quite close the gap. They've lost Amar. They don't have Misha. There is a Roche available.
Yeah, and
Looks
immediately
like that's where they're headed.
Terrorblade is sending out. He wants to buy a refresher. He wants to get his meta back so they can actually fight. I don't think that they're going to be able to fight on the Roche pit, though, as they have 2 dead. This is going to be a free Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, and Aghanim Scepter as well over on the side of EG. So plenty of goodies to take for him here. Arteezy is playing without buyback, so he's going to be the one to take the Aegis right now.
He's got a full Octarine core.
Yeah, he got Octarine Core sniped on the Courier before, but I love this build from him. He gets to blink in more often and use the Nullifier and Abyssal, which is really your timing for Ursa. Whenever Blink Abyssal is ready, he's getting a kill.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
No
They're
timber
gonna try
for
to finish
50.
off these racks in the mid.
Dire's middle barracks.
See Arteezy putting pressure on the top. Abed's actually giving a couple clicks over here to these tier 4s. BZM doesn't seem happy about it. And yeah, they make the decision to go for the tier 4s. Realizing they have an opening, E-Blade getting tossed out here. Lotus being placed over onto Arteezy. The fortifications coming out. Still does have that Aegis.
Clock goes
Hook
in.
shot coming in from Misha. Force staff out though, and now over on the side, there's going to be the drain coming out from Nightfall. The punch, the roll going forward over onto Misha. They'll be able to finish him off with the Mortimer Kisses. The buyback now from BZM. They're just focusing down these buildings though, Waga. They've got their eyes on the prize. We'll have this Timbersaw up in a moment, but now Uragi, he's just staying into play. He can't move, he can't do anything. They're just putting down the damage and the terrorize. It's enough. The Sunderplay comes out. TZ turning his attention now over to BZM. He's gonna be able to try to jump. They want Uragi. They want this kill. The cookie hop forward. They'll be able to keep him alive a little bit longer, but no, there it is. The punch. They'll finish him off, and now they'll chase after Amar. The damage is real coming out from Evil Geniuses. The Aegis does get popped, but it's already done. The GG gets called.
What an absolutely wild game 1 there. EG finally takes down OG in this game. That was a hard battle all the way. 2 very evenly matched teams. Some smiles over on the faces here as EG, they do take a hard-fought game. Arteezy gets to play on one of his signature heroes, the Ursa, as well. He had some massive impact towards the later stages there. Those pickoffs, the one solo kill he got on Terrorblade completely caught me off guard that he would actually be able to kill him there. I saw him jump in, but I didn't expect him to bring him down. And yeah, they just got more and more in control the longer the game went. It felt like there were too many things that the Terrorblade had to fix on his own, if that makes sense. Terrorblade had to deal with Razor because nobody else can stop a BKB Refresher Razor from running in. He doesn't take any damage from anyone else on his team. And at the same time, though, this Ursa, once he has BKB and blinks in as well, Terrorblade kind of has to stop him. So I think TB just got a little bit overwhelmed here. And overall, EG performed some really good team fighting.
See some of these fights here in the highlights. And there were times where it definitely felt like it could go either way. Having that Scotty on Uragi doing so much and being able to kite, but a lot of really good just itemization choices coming out from the side of EG, and also just you know, positioning. It went back and forth so often. It was very tight for a good portion of the game, it felt.
Yeah, it certainly was. It could have gone either way, it felt like, for quite a while, but as we were getting later and later into the game, this was the fight that I think was the really crucial one. Here, they get 2 pickoffs, and then we see OG start to try and run away, but they turn around and try to take the fight here. I think if they just force-staffed away with Hurricane Pike, TB could easily have disengaged here, but they go in, take the fight when Aegis is timing out without their team around. I think that's when OG kind of dropped the ball to me in this game.
After that, they just identified that they had this opening. There was no longer an Aegis, and just continued to run over at the side of OG.
Yeah, no, that was like a clean fight too. I don't think they lost a single hero throughout that entire engagement. There were so many buybacks throughout this game, so it's kind of hard to keep track on how many people died in different fights here. But
this is, I think, the part where, yeah, Arteezy jumps onto the back line, onto Uragi, and I don't think I don't think they, well, you know, even us, I don't think we expected to see him just get blown up that quickly, and neither did OG.
No, I thought that Terrorblade would honestly be more survivable against him there, but it is that level 25 talent on the Ursa, getting 3 extra charges on the overpower. So that is a lot of attacks going up, and once those Furious Wipes get going, they really tear into you, no matter if you have 33 base armor like Terrorblade does.
I thought for sure that Nightfall was going to tick down, but does end up surviving. That's the final GG. Who would you say is your MVP of this match, Waga?
I'll probably give it to Nightfall. He had such a clean game. For the majority of the game, he didn't die a single time. When he died, his deaths were, you know, generally in the later team fights where he had buyback ready and was able to join anyway. So the fact that for the first, 40 minutes of the game, he didn't die a single time, I think that's pretty outstanding against this high kill potential OG lineup. But this was definitely a battle where everyone had to do their part. You can't just rely on one player because these team fights were hectic.
Oh yes, they were absolutely hectic. There were so many different spells flying left and right. The split also, you know, Misha also, you know, he put his body right front and center, like was usually the main initiator and did get some nice pickoffs, but Evil Geniuses were able to kind of just navigate around those cogs a lot of the time and just immediately collapse. And we talk about that a lot when we're watching these professional teams, is just how lightning fast they can just respond to things. But yeah, over here, looks like Nightfall only died twice the entire time, 20 assists, 8 kills. We saw the benefit of the, you know, Heaven's Halberd happening multiple times, the refresher coming in at a very nice timing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he was looking pretty unkillable. He was not necessarily the one doing the most damage. That was, in fact, Arteezy, who dished out so much with his blinks onto people. Once he had that Abyssal, he really started taking names. And I think he was probably my second mention here, but Nightfall, he had such a strong showing in this Razor game. It looks very calculated from him, and overall, not many misplays in his positioning.
Definitely one of those standout players over on the side of Evil Geniuses. If Nightfall has himself a good lane, things generally tend to fall into place for them. Whereas if he struggles, definitely, you know, makes it a bit harder for them to get that footing sometimes. But yeah, definitely performed the way that EG was hoping that he would, and very, very valuable throughout this entire match.
Yeah, that was a very hype game one. I can't wait to see what these teams have in store for us, as there's still one more game to go, but I'm not sure. Do you think that EG will take it back, or do you think that or OG will take it back? Do you think that EG will get a 2-0 here, Moxie?
I don't know. I feel like EG is on absolute fire today. They have already gone 4-0 in their series. Going to add another one onto the pile, but we will have to find out if they're able to do a clean sweep here. But we are going to take a short break, so go grab your drink, go grab some snacks, and when we come back, we'll have game number 2. An absolute tear. Waga, I've been awake for over 24 hours at this point, and I'm still so excited to see if they're going to be able to, you know, bring back the NA Dota, you know, feeling, CRTs, you know, hit the stride, or if OG is going to be able to bounce back. What do you think?
I think with how EG are looking right now, this looks like their day. I think that they're going to take this 2-0. I just have a feeling that they're in good shape. They're in, you know, the right form, and they played really good Dota in the last game. Very controlled overall, but still they identified situations when they could take fights that looked a little bit risky at first. Meanwhile, on OG, I think they had moments where they made mistakes, and however small, they were punished in a great way. So OG, they need to probably think a little bit more. I mean, for me, the highlight for, or highlight lowups for their mistakes was that they took some fight where they could have disengaged and already lost people. So you need to be careful about not chain feeding into EG if they're on the hunt.
Is there any particular type of strat or hero that you'd like to see come out for the side of OG? Because we did get to see the Amar Timber, which looked very powerful. We watched him absolutely shred heroes earlier on in that early to mid game, but wasn't quite enough with the coordination with the rest of the team. And also, Iraqi just had a really rough time trying to shut down that Razor. What would you like to see this time from the side of OG?
I mean, I'm always down for seeing a little bit more Invoker action. We have BZM here. Why not get all the all the Invoker players to play it in one day here as well. He performed, of course, on his Void Spirit that he really enjoys to play, but BCM plays a very aggressive Invoker that likes to take part of a lot of fights early on, which is always exciting to watch. And I think the skirmishes were so good in the last game. I just want to see these teams fight more.
All right, well, it looks like teams are getting ready.
Yeah.
And we should have a draft very, very soon. I like how we're just zoomed in on Crit over here, looking very pensive.
Yeah, Fly was saying that they, as they were getting ready, some of the players weren't there yet in the lobby. Apparently they, I think it was Nightwolf forgot his badge, so he didn't have his badge on the way back in, but they solved it. He got back in the playing area.
It's good that you know that security is good and tight. Protect our players over here. Let them focus up. This is, after all, the international, the biggest stakes on the line. And unlike former group stages, this is an elimination group stage. We will be saying goodbye to 2 teams during the course of this.
Yeah, and as we're here watching these teams, it just feels in my mind like there's no way that either EG or OG are going to be like one of those 2 teams in EG. They're definitely looking out to make a great statement on the first game or first day of playing here. They took a 2-0 earlier against Sonics. They took a 2-0 against LGD, and here they are playing against OG and 1 game up already.
My favorite is, like, you know, you're in a whole bunch of discords, right? People are talking about the games, and in one of the discords I just see, in what universe does EG 2-0 PSG LGD? It was a very big shock, I think, for a lot of people, because, you know, we've seen Evil Geniuses. They've had a lot of difficulties. We think about, like, the Stockholm Major, and they went home quite early. There was a lot of just, you know, speculation, like, oh, you know, are they going to end up, you know, disbanding? Are they going to end up changing players? And then they did end up picking up Fly, and it seems that having a very strong voice to do the captaining seems to be helping them out quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that's a big help. And while we talk a lot about EG, I also want to say that OG, I mean, going into this, they were also 2-0. They took down the Gaming Gladiators, and they won against Boom Esports 2-0. So if they can tie here against EG, we were going to have a tie for first place so far in the group stage. So they have all the reason to want to bring this back here.
Oh, big stompy boy, Primal Beast makes it through the draft this time. I think this is the first time we've been able to see this hero. Usually it's banned out fairly early along with the Marcy. So Marcy's been removed, the Nyx Assassin also having a lot of respect. We've seen an uptick on that hero recently. And we've talked about this in multiple games now where, you know, one hero looks very, very strong, and then that team that won with the hero bans it, so we won't be seeing the Razor. It is banned by Evil Geniuses. But you get your wish. You get your wish, Waga.
I do. They must have heard me. I appreciate that. Thank you, OG. And honestly, I'm a little bit happy seeing Primal Beast as well. He has, like you said, been banned the entire day, at least for the games that you and I have been following. So I'm okay to watch him a little bit now as well. I know he has made appearances on the other streams and perhaps here on the A stream as well before we joined here. But I'm kind of happy to see a game of Primal Beast again. I'm not done with this here. Let's keep seeing him smashing stuff.
I was laughing too because there was a post, and I forget which team that was going up against Tundra. But it was the Primal Beast mid, and it was the 9 Tusk over the mid lane, and it was just like one of those things like, wait, which heroes went mid? Seeing some very interesting heroes kind of moving around the board and on the map, and that is one thing that I have really enjoyed about Dota with the most recent patches is the flexibility of these heroes and how you're able to play them in just, you know, multiple positions, keeping your enemies guessing. Yeah.
We see EG here coming out with the Broodmother as the second pick, reacting to the Invoker and the Dark Willow. Hero that has made her nasty appearance in quite a few of our games. I mean, I've seen so much Primal Beast, and I say I still want to see more of him. I have seen hardly any Broodmother, to be honest, and I'm already like, please. I have too much trauma when it comes to Brood. But Brood, early on reveal here, gives at least some information for OG how they want to lane against it. But I think Broodmother is strong enough right now that she can be picked this early on. Her win rate overall has been great in high level pubs, in pro level pub games. She has been dominating a lot, and also in competitive games, we just see her have big impact even when she's revealed early.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, is that, you know, it feels like a very early Broodmother pick. It still allows for quite a few heroes or counters to be addressed. The most common one that we've seen, we saw Legion Commander picked up at one point. Matumba Man was playing it, did not have great success with it, but we've also seen, I believe, Collapse picked up the Mars against the Broodmother and was very, very successful. So
Yeah, I also think a hero that could be picked against Broodmother that would do rather well would be the Ursa. Actually, we saw Ursa in last game. I think that hero can also be very good at countering out the Broodmother because she's different to counter now, right? The liquid approach with the Legion Commander, yeah, it's good against the Spider Babies. You can nuke them. But winning against Brood is about winning the lane against her, in my opinion. If you have a good start to the game, or rather, if Brood has a bad start to the game, then it's very hard for her to make a comeback into it. And heroes like Ursa, who could just bully her a bit in the laning stage, are hard to come by.
10 seconds.
all right, the Snapfire does get picked up for the side of OG. We saw how potent that hero can be, and having those cookie saves is always very, very nice. Team fight also excellent. A lot of range coming out from the side of OG. I wouldn't be surprised to see some big tanky boys coming out soon in their draft going forward.
Yeah, they also have a big threat that they could be picking up Void now. Faceless Void is probably on EG's mind a bit because when you see Invoker and you see Snapfire and even Dark Willow with the possibility of Terrorize after Chronosphere, there's so much synergy here. It feels like that hero might be priority. EG go back for the Undying, who's somehow made his way all the way to the second pick phase here. And they pick up the Hoodwink as well.
This is an interesting draft coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses right now.
Yeah, it's looking a bit all over the place, but a lot of these heroes are, you know, simply just so strong in this patch. It feels like they're picking all the good stuff. I hope that these heroes will be able to function well together enough. Because for me, I'm looking at the 4 heroes EG has, and it's not the easiest to say that they synergize that well, but they are all really strong heroes currently. Whereas OG's approach, not necessarily the highest rated heroes, but I see more easy situations to play these abilities into each other. Not to say that EG have no synergy, but it's a bit more complicated to play it out. Broodmother usually wants to chill and kind of pressure on the side lane. Undying kind of enjoys, first of all, winning laning stage hard, and then he wants to go and take big team fights with his Tombstone. But at the same time, they can function to just control areas really well, and perhaps that's an important thing, because last game we saw Roshan being so crucial. EG's repeated takes on the Roshan were definitely a big part of their success.
All right, and we get the Troll picked up now for the side of OG. It's going to give them some nice physical damage. It's going to give them that nice attack speed.
I think that's a great pick. I actually, looking at what EG are playing here, I think Troll fits great. He can be somewhat of a lane bully for a carry hero, and his attack speed will be great for killing off stuff like the Tombstone as well. And I think even just having the access to an easy slow, just throwing out the axis, can be a nice way to either catch people or mitigate like Primal Beast damage output during trample. I see a lot of utility in this Troll pick here.
Yeah, I was curious too, like, how do you really lane against this Primal Beast? Because it feels very, very strong recently. And then paired up with something like a Hoodwink, who's going to be able to have, you know, lockdown, slows, things that Primal Beast really enjoys. What's the best way to play into this?
I'm not sure what's going to be the best way or how they want to approach it, but one weakness of Troll in this game could be that he can get kited. So usually we see Troll struggle with similar things that Ursa struggles with. Ursa solves it down the road when he gets his Abyssal and his Blink, but Troll usually doesn't really want to go for a Blink Dagger until very late into game. So maybe we're going to see heavy Force Staff usage again here, this time on the side of on EG.
Looks like, you know, it's really kind of funny because there was this whole meme, right, that it was like first pick Storm half the time for Abed every single game for EG, and now he's getting, you know, this nice priority where he, you know, gets to be towards the last bit. They don't have to worry about banning out the Storm. He's got a little bit more to work with. There is the option, of course, that you know, this Primal Beast could be put in a different position. I don't know how likely that is with Evil Geniuses. I would feel like it's most likely going in the offlane because that's what the trend is currently.
I mean, I think this looks quite likely to me. Like they want to play a +2 Primal Beast, but they have options open to a degree here. But looks like it could be very well just Primal Beast going mid. Against Invoker should be a pretty easy lane with your massive damage. So we'll see what they want to ban out on the side of EG. What they're fearful of coming out from OG, of course. Amar giving himself the last pick here. Been banned out pretty heavily. His Timbersaw is gone. His Razor is gone. His Tide is gone. His Centaur and his Slardar. Slardar here he enjoys a lot too.
There is still a Mars, which I think, Amar's Amar. There's still that option, which functions, you know, could function very similar to something like a Chronosphere with the Cataclysm. Also gives you a solution with dealing with some of those spider babies when they eventually come online. Not, of course, you know,
Tawa-tawa kayo,
too
talo naman
effective
kayo,
early
Kong.
on because of the way that Brood is played, but
Could see them pull back an old classic as well with like Underlord or something for Amar. But yeah, he seems seems happy still. All smiles on the side of OG there. So you see the player cams. He's
feeling
waving his
confident
paper around. Let me see the strats. Show me the strats.
yeah, he looks very happy. So it seems like OG's feeling confident this game. That's what I like to see.
Ba't walang sound,
Yeah.
Boss Evans,
EG, of
De La
course,
Paz?
gonna have
Tamis
to
naman, ah.
reveal here. You're playing into a troll. Many carries that are super happy
Alde,
playing
tama,
against the
oo
troll in the
nga, no.
man fight scenario.
ATF nga,
Okay, so they
ang
picked the
ganda
SF, a
Pilipino.
hero that can sit back a little bit, and the most immediate snap pick ever on the Mars after the SF. Yeah, so very classic stuff here from the side of OG. They have the Mars with Dark Willow
Oo nga,
Fear
oo nga,
combo
Dan,
and the
sakto nga
Snapfire
yun.
ulti combo. They just have great stuff to dump into it. And EG, I like the idea to go for SF here because anything that gets too close would probably struggle against a troll in a man fight.
Yeah, and it's an Arteezy Shadow Fiend. Like, thinking back in the day when Arteezy used to go mid to, like, he knows this hero inside and out. It feels like a very strange just mishmash when you look over at the side of Evil Genius's draft, right? You do have the Nightfall is confirmed
Dan,
he's going to be
na-share mo
playing
na
Brood
ba
Mother.
to?
It's going to be the position
Manood ka lang ng
2
nood.
Primal Beast like you thought, Waga. But there's a lot of just comfort picks coming out too. Crit on the Hoodwink. How do you feel about this draft? Who do you think has the edge here?
I think I would give the overall edge to OG, but I'm not sure about the mid matchup, how it goes. I haven't seen the Invoker versus Primal Beast, but in my head, that sounds like a very tough lane to play out. Also, SF is a very strong safe laner now. Against a melee hero like Mars, I think he can do rather well. So I'm gonna give a little bit of an edge over to EG here, just based on the hero matchups and laning stage. I think that can set the tone for the game.
Do you think it's going to be like a snowbally effect over to the side from one team or the other, or do you think this is going to be pretty evenly matched up?
Yeah, I just think that EG, they might be able to get themselves in such a favorable position that it's hard for OG to come back. We've seen a few times as we head into the game here that if you have a strong laning stage, it can be difficult to recover from, especially earlier today. In some of the first matchups we had, we saw RNG with just, you know, very strong last hitting and then getting an easy mid game because of it. Both teams.
Immediately meeting each other here in this mid lane. Looking to put the vision down.
Yeah, they get the wards planted immediately on OG and just charged in, and that made it difficult for Abed to drop a ward of his own. He still has one on the Primal Beast. He's gonna drop it in the end, over on the side for the top rune.
Amar.
But that wasn't where he was headed immediately, so I think he wanted to plant a ward, perhaps even on the enemy high
Ay,
ground.
pangalan niya.
Not gonna get away with that though.
Prox Gax.
See over in the bottom portion of the map, Misha and Yuragi just kind of making their way over, making sure they don't get any other wards over here on the side, and will rejoin towards this pot. But there is, of course, multiple heroes of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, Amar
Already
confident
parked.
top, but not that confident. He's gonna back out in the end, but it looks like Taiga sneaking around gets the steal. So we're still gonna see a fair trade here, 2 for 2 runes, as Taiga made that little move around.
Again, have eyes over on this mid lane to watch Abed face off with the BZM Invoker, just to see how it plays out. Because again,
Yeah, so Exort Invoker, I think it's necessary here. A lot of the times, I think BCM loves playing his Quas Wex, but in this matchup, I can't imagine playing Quas Wex into Primal Beast. He doesn't need mana that badly, and if you don't have the Exort for damage, I think you just don't get to see us at all.
Sarap eh, ang init eh. Bagong.
bottom lane, Harass is going to be pretty strong on Nightfall. Already see just throwing out
Radiant's
the
turret has been killed.
the axes, doing a decent amount. And top lane Amar though sitting a little
He's in
bit
trouble.
low, has to be careful. Yeah, needs to get maybe one more hit, and there it is. There's going to be the first blood. So we're seeing the power of that Shadow Fiend
First blood,
safe lane.
first blood si Amar.
Yeah, that's slow. When the Shadow Ray stacks up, it is so easy to get caught out of position. It's not like Amar is a slouch on the offlane, but it is difficult to stay safe and still be able to get close enough to get farm. And Arteezy pulled back his creeps, connected them on the top again. Of course, the pull was made by Taiga meanwhile.
You can see this mid lane just every time, you know, Abed has this very powerful trample. Did end up taking a couple hits from that tower during that time. Top lane though, pressure being placed on Arteezy. Not quite being able to finish him off just yet. I think if he had a level 2, perhaps that's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, he could maybe have committed for more, but Arteezy is gonna be just fine sitting under the tower for now, but has to be worse. Mars getting close. Wrapping around though is flying.
Very much a comfort hero for Amar, so he knows this hero inside and out.
Pati nung undying
It's,
ang
of course, the same can be said. For both him and Invoker, but Invoker getting caught out a little bit here. BZM, trample.
Yeah, this feels a little scary here for him because he's not going to be able to rely on that tower. Can they get the... Nope, we'll have the Fairy Fire to keep Invoker alive, but feeling a little bit tight here in the mid lane.
Yeah, I don't know how he managed to find the idea to go into the river, but I think against Primal Beast, you want to be as far away from the river as possible. If you are far away from your towers, you are in grave danger against the trample.
Has been killed.
A little bit of a courier snipe here. Blind loses his courier.
Attempted
LG,
charge
di pa
in on the
kalaban ng
Invoker by
OG
Abed,
bukas.
but not gonna be able to kill him here. He just gets the hold to stop him from trampling all over him.
Pretty smart play there. Looks like Abed is going to go for a bit of a dive. He's going to just duck behind, hang out in the trees for a moment. Does have Onslaught.
Yeah, he's
Goes
chasing
for the
actually.
uproar, the trample. That cold snap though is pretty potent as Abed looking like he might end
the
up
damage.
falling. Although Taiga with the return, nicely done. Will be able to keep BZM alive.
Yeah, and importantly, BZM has defeated Abed in a gauntlet challenge. So
Very good.
yeah, that is the
Top, bottom lane, these axes coming into play. Seeing a little bit more pressure being placed over onto Nightfall, but again, does have a salve, will be able to heal up, and Crit's immediate reaction with the bushwhack to slow down both the heroes on the side of OG and protect Nightfall is very timely indeed.
yeah. Misha is doing a good job trying to protect his troll from too much harassment here, but feels like they're not really winning this lane the way that I think they wanted to. Broodmother is still staying, you know, even in CS, she even has more creeps to cash in on still, so technically ahead of the troll in farm. And I think they wanted this lane to go even better than it's going right now.
Some pressure, nice cookie tap for Misha though. Dodge away. Turn back around over onto Nightfall.
Dire's top tower
Yeah.
is
And
under
just
attack.
constant just poking in this bottom lane without any full committal yet.
A little bit of fighting going on for the neutral creeps here. And another courier loses its life. Taiga going with the snipe.
I don't think Fly should be allowed to have couriers at this point. They keep dying under. This is the second time he lost it.
An investigation here. Is he taking care of them properly?
Very important. Gotta make sure that your couriers are well taken care of.
First move coming down bottom. Doesn't
Ooh.
even need
Oh,
it.
gosh.
They're gonna get a kill just on crit alone there. But they're still coming in with Abed as well in his Primal Beast. So Yuragi, you're in trouble.
Yes, this is looking very scary for him. The onslaught charging on in with the trample. And a nice bushwhack. Will keep the troll within the vicinity for Abed to get the kill. He's only sitting at level 5 right now. We haven't seen the full potential out just yet.
Yeah, he gets the kill, and that was also him not having boots ready yet as well, as he just got them delivered. Of course, with boots, his trample is going to do even more damage, more speed. He's going to go and take the bounty rune here as well on his way back, but for now, I think very happy with how mid lane went. I was expecting this Invokers to struggle more, but the overcommitment earlier has sort of allowed Invoker to take over mid. 26 and 11 against 23 and 7.
Invisibility.
Do manage to grab up the Invis rune in top. Taiga now. There's the pulverize coming out from Abed. He's just gonna smack him around a little bit. And I don't think they have enough damage to finish him off, so we'll be able to just teleport away.
Just TP out, completely safe, no more disables. Cooldown was barely off by a few seconds there on Trample, where he could have gone that kill.
My shot. Dire's middle tower is under
Bottom
attack.
lane, it seems like Broodmother is being left alone a little bit now, as Crit is making his move towards mid. Thinking maybe he can make a catch around Primal Beast, but he was scouted by a ward.
Ready?
Taiga hanging out nearby, both of them having the vision over to the side. I'd be curious to see if they try to make a play on Nightfall, but with Crit already rotating in, I don't think they're going to go for it, especially with the way being shoved as it is.
It's hard to kill Broodmother when she's this far back under her own like webs and close to her tower. Even if they have 3 heroes around, it would be difficult to bring her back. You would need something like Disruptor to get the glimpse back for that play. So he's staying safe, and right now OG are just hanging around with a few heroes.
They're teleporting Abed down though. He's gonna charge forward over onto Yuragi. Gets the stomp off. Still has that uproar. Needs a little bit more damage. They've got the pulverize. Nice cancel though coming out from Misha with the cookies. Not out of the woods just yet though. Yuragi does get slapped down by Abed. And now Misha running from Nightfall. They want this kill. They're not gonna give it up. A little bit of a scatter blast toss back, but not gonna matter. Ends up dying. Ends up losing Yuragi's courier too.
Attempted
Void
Sunstrike. Not going to be able to get the kill, but he does do some damage to mid tower before Fly comes in here and protects. Good rotation there by Abed on his Primal Beast. Didn't get the best laning stage, but his rotations have been very fruitful so far.
And already you can see Misha teleporting to the mid lane. They realized that Abed is smoked up. They saw that the room did disappear. Do manage to find Taiga. There'll be the stomping around in circles from Abed. Those are some big boots.
That's so much damage with the face boots, and that's before he pops either Uproar or double damage. He also has the DD rune, which would enable him to do even more this trample.
So I've seen a lot of just rotation and movement coming out from Abed on this Primal Beast. It's been pretty quiet in the top lane though. Looks like Arteezy's enjoying this time farming. He's currently sitting at the top of the net worth.
Arteezy enjoying farming? I don't know. Seems kind of fishy to me. Is it really Arteezy? Yeah, of course, he's building towards that Dragonlance with Partreads as his first item. Gonna go into a real right-click SF, and overall the farm has been going slightly better for EG here, as there's a minor advantage in the laning stage.
Oh!
We have a pause, settings, and go.
Kinukuha yung cellphone eh.
Ready immediately.
Ito oh.
Dota, baby.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Picking
attack.
out the positioning of Abed. They're bringing many heroes over towards this side too. on the side of OG.
Yeah, that looks like they want to fight. Now with Trample on cooldown, be a little bit careful on Abed. Might get caught out deep here.
Yeah, a little surprised about this. So they'll get the bushwhack off, and Yuragi just immediately dies. The onslaught out over past Misha, but now Fly is pretty deep over here. Nightfall, though, jumping in. Misha will end up becoming spiders. As the trample comes out again from Abed. In a good position. Amar does teleport in. He does have the arena. They want to try to go for that combination. Still only level 4 in the Dark Willow, though, for the time being.
Yeah, he wants to join for a fight on Amar because he's not having fantastic time on top lane against the SF, but not gonna get anything for TPing down here. Now has to run back top again. Try and get something over there, but this is just going all EG kills so far. 8 kills to 1. I think OG
I know
need
what
to
Fly's
catch
got
SF.
them eaten. This is a meaner, faster, scarier evil geniuses than what we have seen in the past.
Yeah, and they're making a lot of interesting moves too, like bringing the Broodmother over to mid lane there before she had even taken the bottom tier 1 tower. Usually we see people kind of follow just a script on Broodmother. You take the tower, then you take over the jungle, but he joined for that fight on mid lane before taking the tier 1 bottom. Cool to see that they're open to making these moves and not just set in their ways. Makes them a little bit unpredictable.
Well, I think that also is what's giving them the edge, is that, you know, the best teams set themselves this meta. They don't necessarily follow it, so...
This is what I love about Primal Beast when you play it. It's just click your ulti on literally anything. You see a creep that you don't like, click your ulti on it. You want to farm a little bit faster? Ulti. Kill someone? Ulti. It's just such a low cooldown ability and so much damage.
Yeah, he's a big boy for sure. Oh, a nice little bushwhack over here to the side. Won't be able to land the sharpshooter, but they'll use the tombstone. Try to push them back. They want this tower on the side of Evil Geniuses. This will, of course, open up that Roche possibility. And it just feels like OG are unprepared to take this. In fact, they're gonna just end up letting it fall.
Yeah, Broodmother swings by as well to secure it, and they have the tombstone. So that's a little bit what we were talking about during the draft. That the tombstone as well as teaching something up, very hard to fight under that area. And for now, I think OG, they need to be really on point with cancelling the Primal Beast when he starts dealing damage to anyone, because he has been finding so many kills right now, and they have good tools to stop him. They have Cold Snap, they have Spear to try and disjoint him, and as well as the Cookie, so they need to try and be ready and perhaps set up some bait for Primal Beast.
Omar's starting to get a little bit more active now here on the map. He was spending a lot of time in that top lane trying to put the pressure on TZ, putting pressure on the tower, but haven't seen him really really get aggressive yet, which feels unusual for Omar, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it's not super unusual, but he's just not having a fantastic laning stage in this game. Getting killed early on there by the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is a hard lane to go in recovery mode a little bit on his Mars. He wants to get some form of item progression. Looks like he's gonna go for the Vladimir's first and then back for BKB is the plan. Bit of lifesteal would be very useful for one God's Rebuke on the spiders, you full HP. EG now trying to hold on to as much of the map as possible, so they're using their Hoodwink as well as the Primal Beast around top. They also have a ward, but this way they're controlling their own jungle as well as the bottom jungle, using the Broodmother spiders right now, sending them out and just scouting the entire jungle. They see where Amara is, and it's very annoying to play against Broods when they start doing this.
Yeah, Nightfall making very good use of the space and choking out the side of OG, so they just don't have the room to farm. It's just a very spooky situation as BZM gets spotted. The Pulverize comes into play. See you later, BZM.
Yeah, gets caught. Quick combination there. Damn.
Nightfall.
Okay, Nightfall just moves in.
Thinking about going back in, potentially. Do get the brambles off. The rest of EG, though, making their way into this triangle area. The onslaught from Abed. Misha just getting chipped away by Nightfall.
And Abed is stealing. He's taking the entire stack here away. Amar wants to stay around, but it's too dangerous in the area.
Another nice bushwhack over onto Taiga. That Shadow Realm is going to wear off and not going to be able to get the Terrorize off either.
11-1. What was I saying about EG looking informed today? This is a fantastic start. Now with the DD rune, they could start just taking Roche here. I wonder if they're gonna go straight for it. Looks like they do.
I mean, you know that OG doesn't want to let them have this, but I don't know if they're going to be able to deal with like a double damage Arteezy.
They have the meatball and the arena. Look for the Chaos Meteor.
Okay. All right, there it is. There's going to a nice spear away. So Fly is going to die immediately. And over on the side, Arteezy trying to get off this ultimate. Will be able to find it, but they'll end up losing BZM during this. Now Misha is just getting chomped away by Nightfall. Crit trying to close the gap, gets another hit off. Just go for the high five. Nice brambles will be able to hold him into place, but they'll end up losing Misha.
Oldest
and
Biden
Bedlam
tanky.
also coming in. Again, this is Nightfall. This is a Broodmother. Very tanky. The onslaught tried to come out from Abed, but does end up getting caught in the brambles. There's just so much garbage all over the ground. It's hard for you to see. You have to really clue in here, but a couple nice races over to Yorgi. They need a little bit more, though. We'll be able to find it. The spear back coming out from Amar, but the click Sario coming out from Arteezy as they will clean it all up.
Man, what happened? How is EG this strong? They're absolutely just handling OG in this beautiful performance. They're vision in a good way. They're using the spiders to scout the high ground during the fight. Nightfall doing a great job with how he chased there. And this is just looking so beautiful. All the EG are like taking this lineup that looked initially like a little bit wonky, how you're going to make them work together, and just making it work. And we see a replay, of course. SF going really low to Snapfire ulti, but manages to stay alive. And on the front line, they just turn it around. Nothing can kill Broodmother in this fight. I don't really know how they decided to take that fight without Troll joining, though. Back in the game again. Oh no, maybe Bramble?
I'm not feeling like this is feeling too. Yeah, they go. They mark Taiga.
He's
the
fine.
Chase is on the
Stop
scurry.
looking, camera. Move away. He lived. He lived. He's okay.
Maybe in a different universe.
Tower is under attack.
Top, we see Uragi with that Battle Fury on his Troll. Gets a lot of spider kills. Maybe they can catch Brood. They need something.
Need something, but the follow-up here now from Arteezy. These clicks, they hurt. Uragi popping the ultimate. Gonna try to put off enough damage over onto Arteezy. Not gonna be able to get off the ultimate, so the Snapfire Kiss is doing work, but now it's looking very scary because that ultimate wears off, and there's too much damage on Nightfalls. Now Misha left behind, the spiders munching away, the hits coming out from Arteezy, and there's the connection over onto BZM. They'd like to finish off.
Abed
They
is
want
coming
this.
in.
They've got the Hunter's Mark. They're trying to get the Terrorize off. Amar, though, finding it, will be able to go get the kill, clean up over onto Fly, who's dove a little bit too deep. They still have their attention over here on the Shadow Fiend. They'll go and they'll use the arena. They've got Bedlam, so that's more than enough damage. But in comes Abed with the BKB, with the stops, cleans up Taiga, chases after Amar. These fights are just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, this is looking ridiculous. Right now, EG, they have two things that cannot be stopped. It's the Primal Beast is just so survivable and so tanky behind this BKB, and the Brood having a free reign over this game. Nightfall is putting on an absolute performance here on his Broodmother. Hasn't died a single time. Has the Wraith Pact as well as the Hood now, so I'm not even sure how you're supposed to burst him. And OG very much on the back foot now.
Alright. Oh, my goodness. They found themselves Uragi again, but they are seeing the TPs immediately come down. It's going to get cancelled, but it's enough to spook them.
Yeah, and they have so much damage between just the two of them. Between Primal Beast and Hoodwink, they can burst anyone really quick.
Yeah, that was one thing that I did mention during the draft. When we weren't sure where this Primal Beast was going, it did seem like a Hoodwink and a Primal Beast together with the lockdown and the slows could be very devastating. And even though they didn't line together, we are seeing how potent that combo can be. But Nightfall really kind of stealing the show, honestly, this game.
Yeah, he's absolutely huge, and now has the full pipe as well. So he's going in, scouting. He already sent spiders to scout first, so he saw that they were here, going in now.
Managed to clean up over all the spider babies, but Nightfall does not care. He's gonna make some more.
Yeah, truly a horrible mother, actually, the Brood Mother. How many must suffer?
Look, okay, this is one of those situations where, you know, nature, you have to have a lot of babies because you know that a lot of them aren't going to make it to the ripe old age that you'd like them to. Oh boy, oh, Yuragi, here comes Abed. Picks him up with the pulverize. They need to put enough damage off so that way he cannot get the ultimate off. And Knight will be able to find it. Sharpshooter coming into play though now. Curse Crown also going to get used over onto Abed. He uses the BKB as Misha makes his rotation. Does just buy that Blink Dagger. He's going to stomp away from the Brambles. Arteezy though with a nice ultimate. The fear coming into play. Clicks over onto BZM. Gets the kill. Trample runs in. Abed, he wants his kill on Taiga. Man, EG is just running away with this game right now. Look at this, Misha trying to get into his own base. And he is not even safe there.
Yeah, he got a nice Quelling Blade cut on the tree there, so he didn't get caught, but it didn't matter. He dies so fast. Even the Courier dies on top as Broodmother gets the Courier kill and then gets a tower as well. Bottom tower is starting to fall. There's too much happening going the way of EG. Mention all of it at once, it feels like. OG are just completely crumbling. Now a 15,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. We have a replay here of how they initially went on the troll, used their high damage that we mentioned to just burst him immediately, and then it feels like OG want to get anything done for themselves, so they chase after this BKB cooldown, but on the high ground, look at Arteezy's positioning, hides behind the tree, gets the ulti out. Beautiful.
Big cleanup on those spiders. Gets a nice bushwhack off over onto Amar and the... Oh, that was so close. 50 hit points. The boomerang and the sharpshooter almost finishing off Amar. This little squirrel does some massive amounts of damage to try to cut down the tombstone, but Misha will end up falling for his efforts. Tombstone is down though. It just feels like EG, they have so much momentum. I don't understand how they're going to be able to shove them out of the base. They've got the Wraith Pack already deployed. Nightfall just climbing right back in again. Trying to make more babies.
It doesn't feel like they have a timing that's close enough right now. Oh, they're blinking. That was scary if you managed to get the grab there from Primal Beast.
Again, another bushwhack getting thrown out, but the Curse Crown connecting over onto 2 on the side of Evil Geniuses. They don't have their troll yet.
No, Troll is not really that close to online. He's still farming, trying to get any form of net worth, but they're so far behind. The BKB is quite a while away from Mars. He went for that Labs first. Takes a while to complete BKB next. Get out of our base,
Snapfire, but they'll jump in onto the back lines. They'll pick up BZM. They've already used the BKB. There's nothing that's going to be able to stop Abed. He will crush BZM.
Such a quick takedown. I like the combination between Sharpshooter and Primal Beast. It's both really low cooldown ultimates, and they keep using them in tandem just to get these kills.
This is looking like a Gaben's top hat shellacking right now, Waga.
Yeah, I mean, I look over to the carry and he's just farming jungle and there's nothing.
There's just, they can't do anything. Yeah, they're just running after them one by one. These supports just crumbling up and literally stomping all over them.
Yeah, this is completely EG's territory. They're gonna take all the racks in one fell swoop here. Well, not the top. There's a tier 2 tower still, but oh my god, they're finding another one.
Rises up again. That's a cool spell. There's the fear coming out from Arteezy. That's a cleanup on Amar, down for 42 seconds right now, and it just feels like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to force them out of this base. Perhaps they overextend a little bit. Crit getting into position. Not quite enough to finish off your Woggy. He's getting pretty close, but he does manage to get back into that base.
Yeah, nice try with
the fountain.
Quick scope
Balloons
there by
are getting
Crits.
dropped now. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, oh, that looks terrifying.
Yes, it does. Right over that sticker.
What is going on with his face? His eye is poking out at me.
All right, well, Evil Geniuses, they've taken 2 lanes here. Looks like they're going to back off for the time being. They're happy with what they got. Amar is going to be back up in about a second. It feels like Abed's like he keeps turning back around like, maybe we could go back in. But Nightfall is putting his attention. Oh, okay, all right, the onslaught right down to the bomb. They find Yuragi, and he's just dead immediately.
All these 100 zero
How
bursts.
do you stop this big stompy boy? Yeah, Amar teleporting out right now. Not going to be able to make it. The Sunstrike coming in. Just managed to get the kill on Crypt, but Amar will end up dying. They're just chewing through the heroes on the side of OG. They call GG. Evil Geniuses. I do not know what it is that they ate for breakfast today, but they are just unstoppable.
I love that game one, we had this really close game. It started out slow, and then we had some crazy team fights going on and a lot of back and forth. And then game two is completely one, not even close. This is not the first time we saw that today, actually. It's been a bit of a trend in the group stage. But okay, EG, they secure themselves. They are the top dogs here in their group. They are now 3-2-0, so they're with 6 wins and a fantastic start in this group.
I think that's going to surprise a lot of people. Again, we look back over the history of DPC this year, and they struggled quite a bit. You know, thinking back to Stockholm Major, they were not looking to be in fine form. But today, it just looks like whatever their issues were, they have found the solution. And they're playing some really just beautiful Dota. And OG, you know, very big favorites within this competition. You know, it's the younger squad of OG at this point. But still, they have quite the legacy behind it, and they've got some very talented coaches, so they're still very much a top contender for, you know, this TI. But they look totally outclassed, it feels like, in this last game.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was not even close. This game 2 was completely one-sided domination here for EG. And like you said, they took out OG 2-0. They also took down LGD 2-0. So EG, they got 2 big names already in the bag. They also won against Sonics. So fantastic start for them. Overall though, OG, I mean, they lose this series, but they end the day with 2 wins and 1 loss. It's not too bad as well for a start for them.
No, still very much, you know, a highly respected team with very, very talented players. Again, it's a very big surprise, I think, to a lot of people
Hey
to
guys,
see
bukas
EG
ulit.
performing at the
Thank
level
you.
that they are. And a lot of people, I don't think anyone would have guessed that they would 2-0 PSG LGD. Maybe like the really hardcore EG fans who, you know, always huff